think one of the things that helped me to be more aware of my senses, because obviously we are sensing all the time, but for example, when I make the tea ceremonies, it is done supposedly in silence, but it's not really silent, because there's the sound of the water, there's the gestures, which is very visual, and then there's like ceramic, touching the ceramics, and feeling the temperature, and then seeing the steam, feeling the steam, all that before you even start drinking. And I think that kind of helped me be more like, okay, so it's it's something that if I pay attention to it, it's very substantial in the things we do. But if you don't pay attention to it, you could just, you should just like, I drank a cup of tea in silence. No, like there's many ways of looking into it. So I think it's through these practices of Chinese calligraphy also is something very internal, even though I mean, but the movements, I need to be very aware of it, like how the brush touches the paper, what kind of the texture of the paper, the smell of the ink, all that. I need to be very pay attention to them in order to have this final work or whatever I'm doing. So I think all that kind of feed into that. And that kind of, I think, because when you're interested in something, you want to know more, no? And the senses, they bridge like a connection in between the things you feel and the things you're doing. So for me to like learn more about what I'm doing, a subject, the senses help me to understand it and have like also like an emotional or memory connection to it. So I can understand it better, or I can remember it better. So I don't know. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Oh no, wait. 80% of our taste come from our smell. So you need to first like have the olfactory sense activated, and then your taste buds to give your brain like accurate reading of what you're tasting. And so that kind of made me aware of how I need to train my nose, just as important how I need to train what I'm tasting. So I find that all that, not just in the things I'm making, obviously, like the fermentations, the cooking, I associate some smell with some food, no? And then that smell triggers like a taste memory too. Like then I know how they will taste. So trying different things and smelling a lot helps in the training. But like, so for example, maybe I don't make chocolate, but I did a course in chocolate making where you had to try and taste and smell different beans and different spices, and all that kind of just builds a bigger library so you can access it more when I'm doing anything else.
Have you encountered like these kinds of activities to kind of train your senses throughout your career life?
So I thought that for example, like different tasting courses, like wine tasting courses, chocolate, food tasting. Yeah, I guess the food tasting, like trying different food. But like, yeah, like as a going to a class of it, that definitely helps. But also maybe what else? And I thought like field trips, like experiences where you need to do maybe outside of a classroom, that also can be really helpful, because sometimes you, when you are in a situation that's new or in an environment that's new, you are more aware of your senses. And that can, like traveling to different countries, smelling the bread bakery there and smelling the bakery here is completely different thing. And so that will help in my practice.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, to see how it's different everywhere, and
Yeah, and
even
it's
though
not,
it's the same.
and it's not something you can describe through text. So, for example, the mother of bread, the masa madre, there's like saying that in San Francisco they have their own bacteria, so their bread has a distinct kind of San Francisco bread taste, and the yeast smells different. But like if I never been there, I will never, I can just imagine it being different, but I will never know it being different. So how can I say to someone, oh, this is San Francisco bread, this is Barcelona bread, you know, like